quick ways to solve equations. So our first equation is 3x plus 7 equals to 34. All you need to know is the inverse operations as you solve equations. So what I'm going to first off is get you to think about is that which number on this side of the equation is furthest from the x. So we can identify that is the 7. And then, secondly, it's the 3. Now, when we rearrange equations, we have to take over the 7 and 3 to the other side and inverse them. But I'm going to do this in one step. So, firstly, I'm going to take over the 7, so that's 34 take away 7. And then secondly would be dealing with this times by 3. But as we reverse a times by 3, it turns into a division. So what we have is 34 take away 7, which is 27 over 3, which gives us an answer of 9. So that means x is equal to 9. So let's have a look at a more complicated one. What happens if we have 3 things going on? Well, which one is furthest from the x? Actually, that is the 5. Then it follows by the 6, and then lastly it is the 3. Now at the moment, in order to make x the subject in one step, we're going to firstly take over the 5, which is dividing, so we have 12 times by 5, and then we take over the 6, which is plus 6, so it's minus 6, and as we have our times by 3, that's going to turn into a division of 3. So let's just quickly work that out. 12 times by 5, is 60. Remove 6 and divide the whole thing by 3. So what we're looking at is 54 divided by 3, and that would give us 18. Okay, so let's have a look at another example. So now we can see there are 4 things going on, including this square. So which one is furthest away from the x? It would be the 12 there. Then secondly, it would be the 2. Then thirdly, it would be the 3. And then lastly, it would be this square. So let's see what we can do in one step. So firstly, we're going to do 10 times by 12. That one is done. Then secondly, we're going to look at the minus 8, which turns into a plus 8. So that one is done. Then thirdly, we're going to divide that answer by 2, and that is done. And then the opposite of square is square root, and that's what we're going to do last. So therefore, in all, we can conduct all these steps in one process. So let's have a look and slowly do the calculation. We have 120 plus 8, which makes 128, divide by 2. That leaves us with the square root of 64, and my answer is 8. Now let's look at a final example and see what we can do here. So very similarly, which one is furthest away from the x? Actually, it's the square root, because it's a square root that blocks the other 2 numbers. So firstly, it's a square root. Secondly, it's the plus 4. Thirdly, it's this 3. And then fourthly, it's this square. So let's do all of them at the same time. So let's deal with, if I take the square root to one side, it becomes a square. So we've done that. Let's cross that one off. Then we're going to do with our second, which is the subtraction of 4, which we've done. Then thirdly, we're going to divide by 3. And then lastly, we're going to deal with that square, which is actually a square root. So let's have a look at what we've got here. We've got 25, 5 squared, which is 25. 25 remove 4 over 3. So the square root of 24, 25 take away 4 is 21. 21 over 3 is 7. So our answer is root 7, which is a third answer. Okay, brilliant.